Business today demands a chance to thrive in a challenging economic environment. The Southern African Metals and Engineering Indaba offers businesses the opportunity to influence policymakers directly, network with new customers, and showcase their products and services. The Metals and Engineering Indaba is the only platform in Southern Africa that brings together government, business, and labor to strategically shape the future of the metals and engineering industries. The Indaba is a vital opportunity to discuss matters of common interest constructively to improve the performance of the sector. The legacy crafted since the first Indaba in 2015 has given stakeholders a sense of urgency, action, and progress. Urgency is needed to find solutions. The trends are clear. The general decline in manufacturing in general, and the metals and engineering sector in particular, is clearly expressed in the declining contributions to the GDP.
To representatives in this industry, the most advanced metal and engineering capability of the African continent. One that is critical to South Africa's economic prospects and is the foundation of our industrialization. The sector covered by SEIFSA accounts for almost 1/3 of manufacturing output. It generates more than 150 billion rands worth of wealth, and it constitutes some 3.5% of our GDP. The sector employs more than 400,000 people, and CEO and President, if this sector was a country, it would be the 22nd largest African economy, roughly the size of Mozambique or Mauritius.
$78,384 jobs have been lost in the sector between 2008 and 2017. Another 27,500 are estimated to have been lost between 2017 and 2018 alone. No responsible vested interest in the sector can avoid accepting responsibility to act now. Bold leadership will ensure that industry concerns are brought to the attention of policymakers. Strategic and sustainable partnerships with institutions like the IDC will create progress in localization while ensuring that local companies are prioritized. The Southern African Metals and Engineering Indaba is at the forefront of advocating for all these strategic initiatives since inception in 2015. In 2017, the Financial Mail reported that the attendance of Ibrahim Patel from the Economic Development Ministry was an indicator of the importance of a summit about an industrial sector that drives exports and is a major job multiplier.
Because no industry, no sector, or no composition of GDP is as effective as generating employment and diffusing wealth into a society than manufacturing. And that has underpinned the success of modern economies post-industrial revolution. I would argue even further that economic success through industrialization has resulted in democratic political systems emerging in Western Europe, Western economies, as well as Asian in the course of political economic history. South Africa, 1990, largely resource-based economy. South Africa today. The only real distinction in the course of the last 20 years or so has been the rise of automotive exports as a value add in our economy.
Issues like corruption, the National Development Plan, the Tripartite, and African Free Trade Areas are thoroughly addressed with political leadership to ensure strong economic growth. These topics are always on the table as they act as a barometer for the industry as a whole. Growth presents opportunity, and a collaborative approach can assist business sustainability. The Metals and Engineering Indaba is a window of opportunity to support advocacy for shaping policy. Businesses can influence the bottom line positively through unity and ensure that the metals and engineering sector takes its rightful place as a strategic sector of the economy.
Secondly, we've got a government that what it would have promised as a liberation vision, which even if you don't understand, we can teach you in seconds something called Freedom Charter, that the people shall govern, the people shall share in the country's wealth. What's wrong with that? And the people is both black and white in terms of the Freedom Charter. Mineral wealth beneath the soil, banks and monopoly industries shall be transferred to the ownership of the people as a whole. That's what the Freedom Charter said.
After the 2008 and 2009 global recession, 2014 was probably the lowest point in the history of the metals and engineering sector. Devastating losses were incurred by both labor and business following the violent month-long strike. If the map to 1 million new jobs is to deliver on its ambitious goal, no stakeholder can afford to see workers as mere commodities, as Solidarity's Gideon Du Plessis argued during the 2016 Indaba.
Because at the end of the day, we do ourselves no favors when we approach organised labour in our parliament, whatever that may be, whether it's in-house, whether it's sectoral bargaining, whether it's centralised collective bargaining in a council that is, which might not be around for much longer, but we need to be able to talk with one voice.
SEIFSA Operations Director Lucio Trentini said that it is important to strike a balance so that history does not repeat itself. That is why SEIFSA has been working on an extension to the main agreement. It is an effort to ensure the existence of uniform conditions of employment within the sector. Stability is priority for both labour and business. Looking back, the Indaba has always been a place where options to stabilize, build and grow the industry were discussed. These developments over the first 4 years of the Southern African Metals and Engineering Indaba have been but a moment in the lifetime of an important industry. SEIFSA is dedicated to creating continuity so that progress is recorded as we action delegate inputs at each of our conferences. Thank you for being here to ensure that the voice of your business is heard at the highest levels of government. Joining the SEIFSA family at the Metals and Engineering Indaba affords you a wonderful opportunity to contribute towards an industry mandate in lobbying and advocacy. Be an active member of the metals and engineering sector. It is crucially important for companies in our economy to stand up and be counted in the fight for a sustainable sector. Thank you for attending the 4th Southern African Metals and Engineering Indaba. Make the best possible use of the opportunity. Create the momentum for the change you want to see for your business, South African jobs, communities, and the country itself.
And we've been very, very fortunate to have individuals who have made themselves available, who have set time aside to join us. So I thank you most heartily, and I hope that you'll continue to make yourselves available and to partner with us.